Hi, it's Monday morning and welcome to week 7 of lockdown. And we're going to keep this video blog going certainly this week, possibly into next week as well, depending on what the government decides about whether or not they're going to loosen off any aspects of lockdown. We've just had a brilliant weekend. Sun's been out. I know a lot of people have been enjoying the sun in their gardens. Something I've noticed actually when I've been out my daily exercise is a lot more people out in their cars over the last weekend. And what I would just urge you is remember the government guidelines are still only essential travel. Please bear in mind, you're not meant to be traveling except if you're trying to get food or part of your daily exercise or for a very limited range of exceptional measures. So please just think about the importance of staying socially isolated at the moment and try not to slacken off in advance of the government guidance, please. That's the way we can actually stay safe and save lives and also protect our NHS. The other thing I just wanted to say up front was we're approaching the anniversary of the Victory in Europe Day. There was going to be a really big national celebration around this. Obviously, that can't take place now in the way that was originally envisaged, but we do want to commemorate that occasion. A lot of people gave their lives in the Second World War, and we want to make sure that they are properly remembered at this time. So we're going to do quite a bit on social media as a council to commemorate this. And what we'd like to just ask is if anybody watching, either themselves or perhaps potentially have relatives, friends, etc., who might have been part of that particular Victory in Europe, whether they have any memorabilia, anything they could potentially let us see, please get in contact with us at the Buckinghamshire Council. We'd love to incorporate some of your memories or some of your memorabilia into the way in which we commemorate that event. So for Victory in Europe, it's going to be mainly on social media, but please get in touch if you have anything you'd like to share with us on that. So what I'd like to do now is introduce our guest speakers. Again, we hope to have guest speakers every day this week. We have 2 guest speakers. We have Sarah, who's actually in charge of our resources within Buckinghamshire Council, and she's going to be talking about the way in which mutual aid has kicked in over the last 7 weeks. And we also have Jackie, who's one of the team, and she's going to be talking about her own personal experience. And why I mention that is I'm getting quite a lot of emails, well, a couple to be honest with you, about, well, what's the council doing? Quite frankly, you're not collecting my bin at the moment, therefore everybody's got their feet up, drinking coffee, doing nothing. Quite frankly, nothing could be further from the truth. The council is really working very hard at the moment. We are regarded by the government as very much the front line in terms of response to tackling the coronavirus emergency. And we've been reprioritising and redeploying our staff into a lot of key frontline jobs over the last 7 weeks. So I'm going to hand over to Sarah in a moment, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the way we've been working as a council to support those frontline tasks, and also the way in which we've been working with business as well to provide the support that they need. So first of all, Sarah, over to you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Murphy-Brookman, and as Martin's already said, I'm the Corporate Director for Resources, and so that means in my day job I have responsibility for finance, for HR, for ICT, and for business operations. However, right now I also have responsibility for mutual aid. So we set up this rather fantastic mutual aid team right in the early days of the pandemic, and it's part of our response for our COVID-19 response across the whole of Buckinghamshire. Mutual aid is split into 2 parts. There is the internal reprioritisation of our staff, which focuses on moving staff from areas which perhaps aren't quite as busy into areas that are really intense, are under quite a bit of pressure. And as Martin has said, there is a lot of work that needs to be done right now. So we've been internally moving those staff, and we also work with other local businesses as well and across the public sector to think about how we can move staff between organisations so that we have the capacity that we all need to be able to respond to COVID-19. Particularly internally, we've been working hard to identify those staff, as I say, whose role isn't perhaps essential right now, and we've been able to move them into critical areas of need. And we're also working very closely with our volunteer cell as well, where there are particular people who could help. What this has meant was that we've been looking at people in terms of their jobs, in terms of their responsibilities, and the areas of focus that we've really been looking at is the Olympic Lodge, which is our setting for adult social care, and also we've been thinking about our support hubs as well. So support hubs have been really, really important in terms of providing support out to our vulnerable shielded group of residents across the whole of Buckinghamshire, making sure that we're able to meet their essential needs, whether it's dropping off food parcels or going to the pharmacy to pick up prescriptions and so on. And I've got with me today Jackie Binning, who has been part of one of those support hubs. There are 8 of them across the whole of the county. And I'd really like Jackie to be able to talk about her experience of working within these support hubs and what it's meant for her. So Jackie, I'll hand across to you.
Thank you, Sarah. As Sarah has said, my name is Jackie Binning, and my role before I was redeployed was in information governance. My role now currently is supporting the volunteering cell in whichever way I can. My main duties, though, do include the coordination of articles for the weekly Town and Parish Council newsletter, which I then send to the communications department, who do a fantastic job in putting the final newsletter together. I am also the central place where the area coordinators in our cell send all their good news stories that they have received from community and voluntary groups, town and parish councils and members for all the good work that is being carried out. Stories can range from volunteers making masks and gowns to groups and local businesses getting together to deliver meals and food. You've also probably heard stories of volunteers also delivering shopping or prescriptions or even dog walking. The list is endless. There are also some lovely stories about, our area coordinators, about the brilliant work and all the advice and help that they are giving, and also for linking and signposting individuals to other organisations for help and support. And also, most recently, thank yous for councillor funding received. And lastly, I have just started supporting on parish clerk briefings and other partner meetings, and from there, any actions that are raised, I take those through to completion. So as you can see, my role is quite varied. I can't say that I'm actually helping residents directly, but I do hope that the support that I'm giving the volunteering cell is allowing them to do their most valuable work. I have found that this whole experience has given me the opportunity to do my bit during this terrible crisis. I am in awe of the work that the volunteering cell is carrying out and all the other cells. It has been brilliant to be part of it. I have found this experience totally positive. Everybody that I have spoken to has wanted to do their bit to make sure that we do as much as we can for those in need. Yes, it has been long hours and it's been lots of work and at times really tiring, but I have enjoyed every minute of it. So I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity for being able to tell my story, and I am now going to pass you back to Sarah. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Jackie. So that's one part of our mutual aid work. Another part of it is working with businesses across the whole of Buckinghamshire. So what the mutual aid cell has been doing is we've also been coordinating the help and support that's been offered from local businesses alongside Bucks Business First. So far we've had over 200 incredible offers of support that have come in to help us and our partners like the NHS to continue to deliver critical services. And it's been really amazing to see how people have come together and wanted to pitch in. So just by way of example, with no particular businesses picked out, but we've been working with Honest Hand Sanitizer, who are using alcohol they previously used to make in their gin blends and now converting all of that work into hand sanitizers. We've been working with LL UK Textile Services, who've supplied face masks for PPE. Hyundai, who've donated vehicles for use on our deliveries, and the High Wycombe Rugby Club, who spent all of last weekend on call to help us deliver crucial supplies across the area. So a really, really big thank you to those businesses. And I'd just like to say that we're still in the process of matching business offers into where the need is greatest and where we think that the help can be best deployed. So if you have anything that you're able to offer in to help us as part of this pandemic response, then please do get in contact with us, because all of this does make a real difference. So thank you very much to all of you. And now I'd like to hand back to Martin.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Jackie. That was really interesting. And I have to say, just again, building on what you've said, I've just been aware over the last 7 weeks just how much the staff at Buckinghamshire Council have rallied around on this. You know, I hear stories about how we've been helping the NHS Hospital Trust to man their telephone lines. I hear how some of our staff have volunteered to go into care homes and help times of stress there. You know, I know the way in which we've actually been delivering food parcels to vulnerable residents. And indeed working with the food banks to make sure that they can supply food to the particularly needy as well. So there's a wide range of ways in which council staff have been getting involved to help across the county like that. So my thanks again to everybody. And hopefully people watching get an idea of the enormous range of stuff that we're involved in at the moment. Just to conclude, Sarah mentioned about the business community. One of the things I've done quite regularly on this is update on the business grants. That's grants that are available primarily from central government, but administered by ourselves at Buckinghamshire Council on their behalf. And these are for key sectors of the particularly retail, leisure sector and so on. There are about 6,500 firms across the county who are eligible. And one of the things I've been doing is appealing for those firms to come forward. We've now had just under 5,000 firms actually apply, and those have mainly got grants now, which has meant something like £63 million has gone out the door to those firms to help them keep going, help employing staff and so on. And I'm really grateful for that. But if there's anybody watching who is still eligible, who hasn't applied, if you're one of that sort of 1,500 who haven't applied, there's still time to do that. Get online. The Buckinghamshire Council website will give you all the information you need, and there is money there available to you. So having said that, obviously enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you again tomorrow, Tuesday, with some more information. All the best. Keep safe, keep well.